We'll cover this first because I meant to cover this before, and it's a bit of an older story now. Rishi Sunak doubles down on national service plan as Tory discontent mounts. Bosses should give priority to job applicants who have served in the military, says Prime Minister. I mean, I can agree with that part, actually. But the national service plan, I'm not that in favor of it. Now, from the angle of developing a nation, there is an argument for it. But from my perspective, and thus from the perspective of many individuals, it would not be helpful. It probably would be a horror to have to be forced into an institution or to work for the state. Especially if you just so happen to be national serviced at the time that a stupid war starts, like a really stupid one, which doesn't narrow it down. Rishi Sunak will, by the way, chat, press 1 if you prefer the chipmunk voice to stay, press 2 if you prefer the normal voice. I'm not necessarily going to honor your request, but I'm just curious. Rishington Sunakville will double down on his plan to revive compulsory national service in the UK on Monday, as discontent mounts in the Conservative Party about his faltering election performance. Hopefully not, Field. Now, here's why I'm not worried about being drafted to go and fight for Zelensky and his Biden bucks. Because this is not going to happen. Sunak announced this just after announcing that the election would be held very soon. And I think he thinks that this is a vote winner. I think he thinks that this is exactly what the Brexit voting public want. And I think he's an idiot because maybe half of them are happy with this. Maybe. But probably much more than that in the rest of the country wouldn't be happy with it. So maybe you win more votes overall with this. But I think among the young, especially, this is not going to be popular at all. So in terms of throwing out red meat to bait votes, this is a really weird choice. Why did you do this? And the thing is, if he wins, I still don't think he'll do it because I think it works primarily as red meat. He's not actually going to do it. He's just baiting you to vote for him by saying he'll do it. But even then, it's not good bait. That's the weirdest thing. So even if he wins, I don't think he's going to do it. But he's not going to win either. Unless something significantly changes in the next, looks at watch, month and 5 days, which it's not really going to. There's no way there's no way he implements this. So no, I'm not worried about being drafted. But if this was being put into place now, I would be. I'm very glad it's not. If your country is healthy, national service is probably fine. If your country is not, it's worse than nothing. Why would anyone even serve a government that has openly expressed nothing but contempt and disregard for them and their issues? See, that's the argument against it. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, so if I get arrested for refusing to be drafted, the thing is, if Starmer's not going to do it, is he? He's not going to implement that policy. But if Sunak by some miracle wins and by some further miracle does implement national service, then maybe there is some way that I can find some silly posting that doesn't require me to put myself at risk for being shipped off to Israel or Ukraine land or something. But yeah, it's pretty silly anyway. Refused drafts only. Honestly, Jack, it's not that strong a principle. I don't think the draft is a terrible idea for a nation. I just would hate it personally. It's not really a moral principle. I just wouldn't like it because of the way I am, because of my personality being very dissenting and aggressively anti-doing things that people want me to do. So I would hate it, but if it was implemented, I would still disagree with its wisdom because the nation is unhealthy, but I probably would not object at the risk of being arrested because it's actually not that bad. I would dislike it, but I probably would have disliked it more when I was younger. I probably would get on with it a little better now. Find what posting all the women recruits go for. So it's not a bad idea, Gadrick, in general, but I would not need that because hopefully I will still be with Motch by then. Jack says, I'm also not against the draft, but I'm not going to ever allow myself to be drafted at the mandate of globalist tyrants who rule my country while hating it. Yeah, there is that. There is that. I suppose the argument is that you're essentially working for them by doing it. Maybe. Yeah, I'm not sure what I would do in that situation. I think it would require a lot of discussion. And I will appreciate your input when it comes to that, chat.